Hello everyone, welcome back to the Traxion YouTube channel. Now, if you're brand new to iRacing, you'll probably find yourself driving the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup. Now, this series is one of the more popular on iRacing with multiple splits day and night. Now, some of the best sim racing experiences I've had have been in the Global Mazda on iRacing. The slower the car, the better the racing tends to be. Now, although the Mazda MX-5 isn't the most difficult car to drive, it is one of the more difficult cars to drive fast. You might have found yourself in a situation where you're braking at the same point as everybody else, but you're a second a lap slower. Why? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you my tips and tricks on how to get the most out of the Mazda MX-5 on iRacing. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about, and probably the most important thing, is momentum. Now, the Mazda has only got about 180 horsepower, so it's not the quickest to accelerate. So it's crucial that we carry as much corner speed as we possibly can. Now, to enable us to do that, we need to use as much of the track as possible. But I know that's difficult sometimes. If you're on a single screen, it's hard to judge where the left-hand side of your car is and where the right-hand side of your car is. So we need to do a couple of drills just to make sure we're happy with where our car sits on track. So what we need to do is we just go on a test session. Any test session will do. We're here at Okayama today. We're going to drive over to the left-hand side of the circuit where you would think the tyres would be. This is where you would think would be acceptable for corner entry. Now, this looks quite far over to the left-hand side to me. Left wing there, you can see, is on the white line, or it looks like it's on the white line. And from here, it looks like we're using as much of the track as we can. But we're not. If we just move over to the left-hand side, wait till the tyres touch the grass, you'll feel it through the force feedback. There it is. And we'll just pull it back on track a little bit. There. So I'm happy now that our left tyres are on the white line, which is where we want to be. We don't want to be right on the edge of the grass. Leave yourself, you know, a few inches. But right now, this is probably the best place to be for corner entry. Now, we need to find a reference point on our dashboard that we can use. So if we look at the rev counter, you can see the number 5 and there's a line diagonally straight up there. So if we use that as our reference point, if that line is pointing to the white line, if the line coming off the number 5 is pointing to the white line, we know that we are bang on the left-hand side. We're not going to run off track. And we need to do the same for the right-hand side. Again, drive towards the apex. And then just put your tyres on the curb. There they are. They're on the curb there. So we can use maybe the windscreen wiper there as our reference point. So just to the left of the small piece in the middle that protrudes. Just to the left-hand side of that. If our windscreen wiper there is on the curb on the inside, we know that our right-hand side tyres are right there. So the next tip I'm going to give you is all about corner exit. Now, in the Mazda MX-5, corner exit is far more important than corner entry. All links together. If you get a better exit out of a corner, you're going to have more speed on the preceding straight, which will enable you to get a quicker lap time. It's all about being smooth, opening up the track nice and smooth through the apex, thinking about the exit, carrying as much speed as you possibly can onto the straight. Now, the next tip I'm going to give you is about ABS, or trying to stay out of the ABS. Now, the Mazda MX-5 is fitted with an ABS system, although it's not as sophisticated and clever as those found in the GT3 cars. So if you brake into the ABS in the Mazda, you're not going to be braking as effectively as you could be. So you don't want to be braking any more than about 80%. Now, I know that's really difficult in the heat of battle. When you're braking into a hairpin, you're going for an overtake. But you just need to build up that muscle memory, find the pressure on the pedal where you are about 80%, and trust the brakes. If you hit 80% and you hold it there, the car will slow down much, much quicker than if you stamp on the pedal and put the ABS into 100%. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is when you should change gear. Now, the Mazda MX-5 makes its peak power at about 7,000 RPM. The red line in the engine is about 7,450. So in first and second gear, there's not much time between the peak power and the red line. You don't want to be hitting the rev limiter because that will just slow you down. So you want to be changing gear around about 7,000 RPM. Just be careful though on the downshifts. You can over rev the engine, and if you do, it might just blow up. So just be very, very careful on the downshifts. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is first gear. Now, in the new Mazda MX-5 with the sequential gearbox, first gear is actually quite usable. So don't be afraid to shift all the way down the box into first gear. And also, changing down into first gear on the slower corners, the hairpins, can really help you out with rotation on corner entry. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is practicing the track that you are going to be racing on. Each track has different sets of track limits and where you will get an incident point and where you won't. There are some tracks that you can cut a little bit of the corner, which will gain you 1-2 tenths without getting an incident point. So it's really important that you know where they are. So we've covered some key points there, which I think are the key fundamentals to get the most out of the Mazda MX-5. Obviously, it goes without saying that you need to practice every single track that you race on to find the optimum line. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take the Global Mazda out for a lap around Okayama and try and show you in practice what we've just been talking about. So what have we talked about? Well, we've talked about making the track as wide as we possibly can to keep up the momentum. We've talked about corner exits for the same reasons. We've talked about ABS, trying to stay out of it to get your maximum braking. We've talked about first gear, how you can use it to help you and how you should be using first gear. And we've talked about practicing each track and finding out where the track limits are so you can exploit them if needs be along with everybody else. And we've also talked about practicing each track you're going to be racing on to find the optimum line. So let's get some heat into the tyres and I'll try and show you all that in practice. So I'll try and show you everything in a flying lap first of all. So we need to know where our car is on track to move the car right over using the reference point that we found earlier on. Thinking about corner exit. Really important to get on the gas as early as you can in the Mazda. Again, same here, being patient on corner entry. Thinking about the exit. There it is. So now we can get a good run out of this turn. We're thinking about not touching the ABS. 70-80% maximum. As we go down here, heavy braking area. And then think about the corner exit. We're on the gas really early there. All the way up the hill, we're on the gas. That's a classic place at Okayama where we can gain some time. Thinking about the shift points. Not really going above 7,000 RPM, maybe 7,100. Again, thinking about the ABS and not going into it down here as we brake again. Heavy braking area. Using first gear to help us rotate there. Again, thinking about our track limits now. Where can we exploit them? We can cut this one a little bit, then use all of this on the exit. Don't get an off track. If you don't know where that is, then you're losing about 3 foot of track there on the corner exit. Again, looking for first gear to get us that rotation. Try and carry as much speed through the corner as we can. Leaving it in first gear. We're not going to change it in a second because we're going to hit the rev limiter. But again, get on the gas nice and early. Again, making sure we use all of the track. Thinking about the corner exit. Use all of the track. And there we go. So that's it all condensed into one lap there. We've showed you about track positioning, making the track as wide as you can. Thinking about corner exit, being patient on corner entry, using first gear to help with that rotation. Changing gear at no more than 7,000 RPM, not hitting the ABS, under braking, and knowing where the track limits are. And by knowing where they are, you can gain yourself an extra 2 or 3 foot on pretty much every single corner. So hopefully this guide on how to get the best out of the MX-5 helps you along on your iRacing career. As always, thank you for watching. Keep it pinned.